Join me. Imagine what we could accomplish together.
I'll join the team, be an X-Man.
We are the future, Charles, not them.
What do you think, I'm stupid?
You and I are not so different.
You can't keep denying what you are, man.
Because I'm the best there is at what I do.
You, me, we're exceptional. The power of the sun in the palm of my hand. I chose my path, you chose the way of the hero.
Plague, war, famine, morality doesn't even enter into it.
I've heard these arguments before.
Think about it, hero!
You are watching
Move, Throw.
a Marvel Crisis Protocol podcast.
I'm Omnis.
I'm Irish Smart Like Rock.
Danny, it's good to be back. Did you enjoy your camping trip, by the way? How was camping?
Well, I always love the outdoors, and it's like a thing we've been doing every year around this time of year. So it's a lot of fun to like keep it going for as long as we have with the same people. So that's super fun.
Okay.
And I like just seeing different areas of Pacific Northwest over the years. Right.
That's
Trying to
fair.
expand your peer view around the world.
I remember, I think this came up more in like the Word Machine community, but I remember seeing pictures of people doing these like big outdoor events where there's like tents and stuff. And I was like, man, it would be super fun. I don't think I've ever done like a outdoor gaming plus barbecue where it's like playing war games, grilling, you've done them a little separate, but there's definitely a part of me like that would be like, that would be awesome. But weather, so chaotic, right? Like,
yes. Well, there's a lot of card games and like things that it's not as bad if things get wet. You have tokens like backgammon, just things that it matters a lot less. So you just have multiple decks of cards, right?
But I mean, like MCP and grilling and beers and outside and like,
yes.
Swinging by Danny at the grill and being like, hey, Danny, I got to tell you about the game that I just played in your backyard. We
have done that before in Portland.
Yeah.
We got all together and at barbecues and which is a lot of fun, to be fair. It's like organizing and all that.
Oh, by the way, like someone, never mind. But anyway, little starter topic for us besides outdoor gaming. So we recorded Wednesday of last week, right?
Yes.
And while we were talking, you were getting me excited that I had never played, Loki 2.
I just like the fact that gets you excited. Like that's really,
I mean, bro,
really
like that's
hot,
not
right?
abnormal for us at this point, that's our relationship. But the frustrating thing I had thought from the moment I saw Loki 2's card, I thought he looked really interesting, like fast, multiple, like a lot of ways you could play him. It seems like a very versatile character. But when I picked up that box, I managed to break his trident like 3 times before even priming him. Like I was trying to get
Namor, like anyone with like the very thin trident, especially because tridents like are they're top heavy too, so it's like the pivot point top, like either the trident breaks or like the hand breaks somehow. Like it's just never not meant to last, right?
But it didn't even get to the point where I like got to paint it and have the complete feeling. And after repairing it multiple times, it like drained my energy to actually like paint the model. And so he kind of just got set aside. Do you know what showed up in the mail the day after we recorded while I was thinking, God, I kind of want to, like, do I need to find my broken Loki 2? AMG sent me a Asgardian starter set.
Yeah.
Which has a Loki 2 in it.
Which has a Loki 2 in it, yeah.
I was like, whoa. Is Amon just like reading my mind? I did not expect, I forgot that thing was even coming. And so, yeah, I was,
the one guy and it's fancy. That starter box is really good. There's a lot of, I mean, they're all good models.
Yeah.
They're hard to be bad models.
So yeah, I was just like, oh, okay. Like, so that's just like going to be one of my goals is to put him together. And so that I can actually do some stuff with Loki too. I'll probably wait until after you're done with your little Asgard adventure that you're on right now. But it was just cool to have that option. And so shout out to AMG for sending stuff. Got a bunch of stuff to give out at events. Got a tournament coming up in just like a week and a half or so. And so I'm going to give out a bunch of boxes at that one. Compliments of Move Throw and AMG.
I think everyone always
round out
appreciates
people's
that.
collections.
Yeah. It's always fun. Price point.
Yeah, bunch of cool stuff. But it got me thinking because so we had the kind of mutant starter set, right? X-Men and B-Hood, you know, the Spider Foes starter set, right?
Yes.
Asgardian starter set now. And there's a, Guardians of the Galaxy on the way. What do you have any wants to like add to that cycle? Cause I feel like they've done a really good job so far of picking the starters as like great entry products.
I feel like, especially the classic factions that have been around for a long time, it is easier to pick a starter pack that has like pretty solid models. But I think it's been more complicated with the factions that have leaders that are strewn across multiple waves. You're like, well, which ones you include? What feels like a solid team anymore? You sort of lose that identity a bit, right? Which isn't bad because, I mean, like realistically, they're not going to combine models from like wave 2 and wave 7, right? Like they want to try to compress a lot of like the 2 through 6 maybe before they get to the newer ones that they're currently working on or the newish-ish, right? So it discourages that sort of investment.
Yeah. Well, the one that was on my mind is like, they got to do Web Warriors because Web Warriors are not in the core set.
I think they they announced one.
No, as far, I don't think they've done some repacks with them.
Yeah.
Right. You know, they have the repacks, but not a starter set product. And that feels like a really easy one to, you know, kind of like combine into a starter product. And I'm curious if there's a reason specifically why they did not.
I was thinking of the affiliation packs, and there's sort of a difference here between the two.
Yeah, they did do affiliation pack. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like starter packs are your gateway drugs, right? They're the, hey, I like this affiliation. Here's what you need to go through here. So it would make sense. WebWare is one of the few you're like, well, that's just easy money.
Yes.
Like how would that not print money?
Yeah. And it just seems like a really like, it's just a product that people would want to start. Yeah. Like want all the Web Warriors, and a lot of the Web Warrior stuff you want to play with it internally, right? Like obviously you're not going to add like the new box, but if you did Amazing Spider-Man, Black Cat, Spider-Woman, Agent Venom, right? And then you did Miles, Gwen, probably Venom. So you need 3 more. There's gotta be 3 more that we can put in there.
See, the problem with Web is that they're like a weird box, because that's where you get into the crossover where you're like Daredevil. Yeah. It's like a little weirdness around there. You have Moon Knight, which I'm pretty sure is Moon Knight Sun's box.
Yes, he is in the
right. And so I think that's why like you have like odd breakups in certain affiliations. Not that that's necessarily wrong. It's just I think that's why they sort of avoided, right? I have a repack of
yeah.
model.
You do Gwenom and Scarlet Spider.
Oh, I forgot Scarlet Spider. Actually, Scarlet Spider's been out for a bit. It feels like it's been recent, but it actually has been a while.
Let's see. We got another one to squeeze in there. So many Spider-Mans. Because the model isn't available anymore, you could also do, it would be cool to reuse. It'd be cool to reuse the OG.
That's
Peter
the
Parker,
OG Spider. Yeah, the actual Peter.
But use the sculpt from the Doc Ock and Spider-Man box.
Just learn their lesson. Just discontinue the other.
Stick that one in.
Yeah. They should have done that with the Doc Ock as well. In the
box, I mean,
right?
Those sculpts are so good. But yeah, that would get you to 10 characters.
Yes, it would.
Yeah.
I actually forgot about OG Peter.
Yeah. I was trying to leave out so you didn't have any duplicates of the same name, but we kind of ran out of characters without going into.
You have the Peter Parker problem because there's 3 of them, right? It's like the T'Challa problem. It's like, well, you start running into issues. You're like, well, I can't include a duplicate. You're like,
well, I think you leave out, I was thinking you leave out Spectacular Spider-Man because he's in the core set.
The core
right?
set.
And
the core
and so I was thinking include Amazing Spider-Man because he's going to feel a little bit more like that ultimate, Peter Parker feel for new people coming into the game. Peter. But you still get like kind of all of the essentials. Yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe that's the reason. Maybe that's why they haven't done it. They don't have a clean 10th character.
Where they can just slot this in and it makes sense. Or like cleanly fits in. Venom did not end up in the Spider-Foes starter, right? No. I thought Venom was in another box. I think Venom that ended up in the... Was he in the Web Warriors affiliation pack? Yeah, I think that's what it was. Yeah, because they stuck normal Peter in there. And so that's okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yep, it's Venom. Peter, Miles, Gwen. But I was trying to think. I couldn't come up with any like really good ones past those. 'Cause like I just don't like it's looking at the problem. Like, I'm not sure Defenders or like Midnight Suns or Convocation. Like you probably have enough models for those, but I'm not sure they kick in the way that a starter should kick, Yes, this is where I think the difference between a starter pack and an affiliation box kind of come in. Where I feel like an affiliation box is sort of like a mix of characters you want to add in their core things you want to go through, which I could see them adding more affiliation box, where a starter box is sort of an entry point into the game. And so the more you can sort of ease that or make that like really appealing, right, as an offer, the better it'll be. And the issue with it is that I don't think all affiliations make great starters. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It's really, you want the ones where it's like a very clear starting point where like people come to the game like specifically for that faction. I don't think anybody is going, I am getting into the game because of Convocation. Or maybe there's that one person, I think it's really good for affiliations that are generally more open and have a lot of options where you could potentially add an affiliation box to it and then expand out very quickly. You could probably do Criminal Syndicate. Kingpin is really popular as a character in general. So is Daredevil. I think you could probably assemble a Criminal Syndicate. Here's the thing with starter product. They have the side effect of basically being Spider-Man Rogues Gallery. That's true, right? And like, let's be honest. And so they sort of get the passive Web Warriors. Like most people will recognize them. If you recognize the Web Warriors characters, you probably recognize the majority of Criminal Syndicate. You're like, you'll figure it out. Well, and they have surprisingly a bunch that are not in the Foes starter, right? Like obviously you're probably not going to duplicate, but I mean maybe it's worthwhile to put something like Rhino in both. Could always be an option. He's going to probably be a fundamental character for at least a hot minute. For a long time. He's just like, he's a solid character, even with, Red Aubrey being sadder now, with like source extracts and everything. Just the way he can place around, moving through a lot of things, like still very good in this game. Yeah. He's still just fundamentally like good at core MCP. I thought it was funny. Shout out to Muse, since we end up referencing each other every episode. Colin still said I didn't talk about Silver Sable enough. I thought I put genuine Silver Sable time into the cast. I mean, there's always more we could ever discuss on a topic, but would it be useful? Yes. Well, also you and I, we could just talk. We'll just like never shut up, Yes. The thing is, I want to love Sable, right? It's just like, man, I wish she just had some movement or something or some other funny trick. Anyway, lots of real topics. Yeah, we'll leave that to Muse. But I'm assembling Bastion
today.
Okay,
I was sticking Archangel wings on him, so I had to do some like customization, switching where some of the cables and stuff were going, because they wouldn't be able to connect on the back. But I've got them all assembled and I think it's all working. I don't know if I'm gonna have to do any more like cleanup around the back, like where the wings attached to the back and like make it look even more natural. But I'm excited about him. This was definitely a model where I think the like power manipulation is a really interesting part of MCP. And so it's definitely something that I wanted to dig into. And so I wanted to run something by you. So going into this, like as much as I would love to play the big Sentinels, I'm going no requirements and just going, if I want to play Bastion and Omega Sentinel, those being my only two requirements, that I want to play those two and I want to be trying out the Bastion leadership a very significant amount of time. And I was thinking about it and I kind of wanted to go a different direction than the way that I'm hearing a lot of other casts and stuff, take the build. And I'm thinking about one, leaning into pay to flips, because obviously Omega Sentinel's good at it. And you're already got like kind of a power draining mechanic. And where like you can add layers of like making it hard for enemies to like have all of their tricks. And so like with that in mind, I was going, okay, so if I was going that direction, what else do I want to have in the list? One thought was Ironmonger. May not seem like an obvious choice at first, but I was thinking he's also a damage reduction character. So every time you hit him, you're going to be kind of getting one less power than you would probably be expecting to get. And he's a 3 cost. So if he's shooting a 4, right, he can deal 2 damage and they get no power. Yes. And like he has potential like bonus movement for like zooming around, and he's a big base. So if he gets like teleported by Bastion, he goes pretty far. The
most important thing, theming.
Yes.
And he's most certainly on brand for theming.
He does fit in aesthetically. He's also a really cool looking model that I would like to get some more table time with. But like, so past that concept, does anything jump out to you? If I was going to like build that direction, like what else do you think would fit? I've read through a big list of characters, and so I have a few more ideas, but I wanted to kick it over to you.
One character I love, and I think does well in this particular setup with Bastion, is actually Rogue. For almost very similar reasons as Ironmonger. It's hey, damage reduction right off the bat. So getting punched, but one, being able to choose damage types is also just generally useful. Power drain. Just mute absorption. Just, hey, I'm just going to take this power from this character, and I'm going to punch this character and take their power. Oh, I sap power too? Oh, an amazing ability in this situation. Yes, let me just drain all of it. I think she hits a lot of boxes in this scenario. The problem is that she being a 4 threat is a little heavier in the list.
She is also invul, which also fits the plan of just being like trying to make sure that it's harder to spike into big power pools, that sort of thing. She's obviously an inclusion. I have some concerns that she wants power herself. And if characters very rarely have power, she's not going to be able to sap power very often, which is going to make her feel behind where she should be at in her power curve. But like she's definitely a fine choice there. I wasn't sure how many 4s I was going to put in, because I was potentially thinking that it might be worthwhile to bring the at least one 4-cost Sentinel as another option, as just being like, they've got good stats for pay to flips now. They always generate some extra power. And they have Webline.
Yes. And Webline is just a ridiculous ability. And they're annoying enough. There are enough stats on a stick where you can't just casually kill them. Right? Like you have to dedicate something, usually a heavier threat, to punching into one of them. And if you're doing that, you really don't care. It's 4-3. You're like, could be worse.
Yeah. They're not a requirement though, because they are a big pool of hit points that your opponents can use to build power on. So that was at least like partially a concern. But I think there's a world where just playing them as a 4 in that list, where you're like, they're going to go up, they're going to flip a point, they're going to then have power going every turn to always be able to flip a point and yank someone off a point. I think is a really decent starting place.
Yes. I mean, with the leadership and Bastion in general, the main thing is just being able to consistently trigger it, right? So you're constantly having to want charge checks. So, the direct power manipulation that people talk about, like Deadpool, these are the characters who like want to go through like the other path. The thing is, I think the damage reduction is the more important part of the situation. Having characters are relatively tough because, to your point, the more you deny them being able to gain power through doing damage, the worse off, the more effects you compounding onto them. Right? Because your point about having the stat stick, about having 10 health is like, well, if they keep punching a Sentinel, they will eventually kill the Sentinel. It's not immortal. And one of their characters could potentially hit once, do like 5 damage, get a bunch of power, and then potentially do something that turn that you don't want to have happen. Right? Which is why I tend to move towards the damage reduction characters. You run into the issue, like you said, where you essentially need a model that's relatively independent. That can essentially operate on its own without a lot of input from a lot of other like sources, because Bastion isn't giving you that. Right? Bastion isn't like supporting in that sort of way. Like the power deniers usually will keep your characters alive long enough because they want people to do their fancy tricks, can't do their cards. And that's the other thing that's really important with Bastion leadership. It's not just superpowers and spenders. It's all the tactics cards they can't play. Not being able to fall back where they expect to is very surprising, right?
Yeah. But the Splash 4 that I was potentially leaning towards might actually be Rhino. Similar thing. He's still a bulk of hit points, but he's got invulnerability as well. And he gets extra power when you attack him. So he he further increases the like power denial versus how much power I generate. And he's a character who generally wants to attack even when you're playing kind of a non-attrition game plan. And so I thought him being able to attack at least negate 1 power out of it, right? Like, you know, we'll kind of balance out. So it's a little safer for him to attack, hop, you know, and be like spreading some damage around while he's building up power. So I was like, Rhino's definitely in consideration for the 4s, but I kind of wanted to lean more on the 3s as much as I can. So have characters so that even when I'm spiking, like 3s making attacks on 4s, where like they're only, you know, they're getting 2 less power per attack that I put into them. Like an original thought, well, not original as in I'm the only person to come up with it, but more as like kind of a starting place thought was like, are there characters who want to attack for displacement, but so you can kind of negate the downside of potentially handing out power, like a Black Panther or something like that, where he wants to attack?
So here's what I'm literally looking at as you say this.
Yeah.
OG Iron Man.
Yep, definitely is.
Yep.
He does hit all the notes here, right?
Pushes people, damage reduction, a 3 threat. And I was like, I think he actually works in this scenario.
Yeah, I actually had discounted him, but I think you're right. Like, I forgot that he's also damage reduction.
Yes.
He's also
damage reduction.
Physical. Mm-hmm. So
makes him tough
that
enough. Definitely, like that's a lot of fight. 4 physical damage reduction is pretty tough.
Yes.
The push on the gun is like, ooh.
Yeah. Really you've got Well, and the list probably has room for tactics cards, right?
Yes.
And so it's probably a list that I could put in Stark Armory and Helios Laser.
Oh. Stark, I didn't even consider Stark Armory this scenario of just churning like a Mega Sentinel to 11. You're like, actually, I'm gonna go all in and just kill something now. It just explode on you. Yeah. I have a turn where you just get to like go into offensive mode at your drop.
Okay, yeah, I like that one. I was also considering Black Widow, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. I know she's a little outside of the curve of what I was discussing, but I was like, you're gonna want some characters to grab extracts.
Yeah.
She's got an AoE that doesn't generate power for the opponent, and she can hand out poison, which complicates the situation if someone is like already struggling to generate power and you're poisoning them.
I think poison is very good in this scenario, specifically because if you can get them to 0 power and they start to turn with effectively 0 power, what are their options beginning of round 1 if they have prio? To blind punch you and hope it goes well.
Yeah. Also, with her being a rapid fire character, she's going to be a character who does like 1 to 2 damage, 1 to 2 damage, 1 to 2 damage, 1 to 2 damage. And if she puts 6 to 8 damage in on someone and they gained no power out of it.
Yeah.
Like,
so sad.
That's like, can you imagine? Like, it's not crazy for her to kill a 3 or a 4 threat, right? If she gets to actually like make double rapid fires, she's got the auto rapid fire. Like, that's not crazy. And can you imagine you're starting your next turn and you're still on that 1 power that you said with the beginning of your turn?
No, what makes you sad is interrogation. That's what actually makes you sad. Right? That's like the insult, like, oh, and you get an extra VP. Like, yep. Like, yeah, I love to see it.
So yeah, she doesn't have any movement, but I was also just thinking like she could serve the role as an extract holder for the list with like stealth, parting shot.
Stealth. Yeah, you kind of running around.
She could potentially like fit that bill. I wasn't sure where that goes in or not. What do you think? Like, I do think I want a 2 threat in the list. I was kind of leaning towards Wong, but I'm curious what your thoughts would be.
I mean, the most annoying thing with Sentinels is their health pools. So the more healing they have, the more annoying that is. And it also gets rid of random conditions. You're not playing hyper offense. Like, the one issue of Wong is that he's not moving a lot every round. Right? He can't chase people around, go through. He's not really moving that much. And now he's like using all of his abilities. So it's very easy for characters who are charging to leave Wong behind. Right? Like, Zemo very easily just leaves Wong, like, completely value. Like, yeah, there's no way Wong's catching up to this guy. Like, what are you even doing here? So having larger bases or longer range guns means that a Sentinel could walk up, take shots, take a punch, you're healing. Like, it's fine. Who cares? The flip side to that is having just like a safer grab. Instead of having 3 threat Natasha, actually have 2 threat Natasha. And she's just because the thing you lack outside of Omega is another long mover. And I think having 2 long movers to run around to do things, especially if you're doing peta flips, which is where long movers really help.
Yeah, I think OG Widow should be coming back.
Like another extra holder.
I am like on the, like, I think her long move shenanigans are quite good. Now,
I like only her. 2, I really do. Yeah.
She is only 2 energy defense, but I don't necessarily have to run the energy peta flips,
which is fair,
right? Because Mad Men's physical.
There's the neutral one where you just flip dice.
But now that we have the cool spider portals back, I think this spider portals is physical, so she's. She gets to roll 3 on that one, so that's solid.
Yeah.
So it's not critical. So, yeah, I'm definitely not opposed to Widow being the 2.
Yes, she most certainly is a very, very fun character. I was thinking of Guardians. That's what I was thinking of.
Yes. Guardian save Shi'ar Empress. That one would probably be in the mix. So yeah, I like Black Widow in there.
And stuff matters in scenario too. Like, it's like big enough that if you're on the outside, you won't put hit you still.
Yeah. If I have room, I was thinking, again, play one of the Mark IVs and put in Sentinel Prime as potential, like, if for the math, like, just them being able to yank people off of points, and like spending for rerolls to, again, like, negate more damage, and like online and operational for a Mark IV is really sick. I'm not sure. That might be something I'd really only play at 20.
I feel like at lower points, I could see you randomly wanting the 4 to make the models work, especially if you're taking a lot of lower threat out of affiliation models. You could be trying to just go as thin as possible and shove as many 3s, especially at like 18 sort of thing going on. You're like, oh, actually I can fit in. Oh, I'm going to do this instead. You're like, okay, sure, I can see that. But so I think it just makes certain threat levels work for you easier. Essentially, what I'm saying.
Until I get the Prime Sentinels, the little 3 cost guys.
Yeah.
So I do think having a 3 will be important for it. I was thinking about putting Bucky in, because again, Bucky has a thing where he's a rapid fire, and so as he's plinking in damage, they're often going to not get very much power from it. And he still does have displacement, right? Because he's got the Red Fury and.
The other thing is that there's also the combo of jumping over your brother, right? Over a giant sentinel. So he can hop over, start shooting his gun, and you're like, oh, Bucky, that's a lot of range. You're like, yep, got your back, buddy.
I don't know if I have room for it, but I was thinking Sam Wilson might be kind of cool.
Well, that's what I was thinking of in the Two-Threat Natasha, is that I like the idea of having another long mover. My only issue with Sam in this scenario is that it's just hard for him consistently to do damage with like the single 4 dice, and you're like, this might go ricochet, might not. And you already have other extract holders. You don't necessarily need him to be doing that. So I feel like the inclusions need to be more like, that's why I like Natasha, because she's cheap, right? It's like a 2-3, like, okay, I don't mind if she's grabbing something and like hangs out.
I was more thinking with Sam, it's the fun of like, if he does 1 damage, shoves them off a point, bounces into somebody else, does 1 damage, shoves them. Nobody's getting any power. He's getting a bunch of power. Like the way, like when he is clicking, like he can like just drastically change the board state.
That is fair. I guess I think of Sam the most is when I can turn him on round 1. Like get him that second power or have some way of like moving him or doing something.
Well, there's definitely a world where Bastion teleports him range 2 forward so that he can throw at the midline, then charge. Which is
pretty funny.
Yeah. Like that is an option.
Yeah. And Ricochet is a very good. I'm not trying to disrespect Ricochet or anything.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if he was going to make the cut, but he was somebody that was kind of like on the list where I think he would have weirdly cool synergies with the Bastion leadership.
Yes. It's also because Ricochet could potentially cause them to lose power they don't expect it to because of the bounce. You're like, oh no, this is not what I expected at all. My only issue, like the one issue with Sam's throw now is being the size 2 is that there's a lot more size 3 characters of the characters you want to be moving around. But to be fair, there's also a lot of tricks and sentinels, so I'm not sure you're super worried about it.
So what do you think about this concept just like in general? This is kind of where I was thinking
I think Bastion is very good. I think that leadership is very good. It kind of goes back into like death and taxes and sort of like punishing your opponents and giving them you have an enhanced stat line and they have a basic stat line, and we see how this plays out.
Yeah. So I was realizing, as I like watch, like I don't play Magic the Gathering anymore, but I've been watching videos about it. And there was a video that was talking about, do you remember Hypnotic Spectre?
Yeah.
Like, I love the, like, round 1, Swamp, Dark Ritual, Hypnotic Spectre, and you're just making your opponent discard cards every turn if they can't kill the thing. Yeah. And I realized I like that play style of trying to limit what as opposed to doing something big and explosive myself, I prefer that, like, I'm going to try to limit my opponent, and, like, we're both going to have to play a tighter game, and how that plays out. I realize that carries over to how I play MCP, right? That's what pay to flips are. We're both playing a more drawn in, like kind of restricted game and like managing with like a tighter amount of resources.
I mean, that card, there's like the second layer of this aspect where you're forcing more mental work onto your opponent because they had a plan that you're now interrupting like mid thought.
Yep.
You're like, you had a plan. Well, now you have to like remake your plan because your power math is off, right? Like you lost a card, didn't expect you. So now what are you going to do? Oh, your draw 2? That's gone. Try again. You're like, we got like, there's no backup plan.
Well, and I think this is what we're talking about here with MCP, right? Where, there's like, if you think about all the characters who spend power for, defensive bonuses, right? But when you're going, man, even if they get 1 or 2 damage through, I'm not getting any power. So if I spend to add 2 dice, then I might not have any power to interact. And like create these layers of complications, so there's more potential for a mistake.
This is why I like the poison idea, because it adds a layer of complication where, especially if you're intentionally not necessarily going all in on attacking them, or if you're plinking them and they don't have a lot of power, they don't really have an opportunity to use text cards, to use abilities. And so you sort of get to dictate a situation where you can actually back off. You're like, actually, I'm not going to hurt you at all. I'm going to walk away, take the extract, and just leave and make you just chase me, I guess.
Okay, so on that note, I've almost forgot to mention it. I was seriously considering Omega Red for the list. Because he is 6 health on both sides with invulnerability. Yeah. And he has the Venom version of Webline. Yeah. Right? He has the Pole Medium. And he can potentially hand out poisons to like frustrate the economics of the situation. He is still slow. He's a short mover. Yes. But he does fit the bill of kind of what I was looking for in the list. And like, I love the stuff like if he attacks, does 1 or 2 damage, right? They don't get power. They get 1 power. He gets to heal and gain power, right? Like this just like where everything is working on multiple levels for me and working on negative levels for my opponent.
I think the more synergies you can have like that in a character, it becomes harder to have a bad outcome. Because at least one of the rules is going to trigger in your favor. You're like, oh, I didn't do any damage. Well, at least I poisoned you. You're like, oh, you lost power? Well, pretty bad, right?
Well, I think they mentioned that Omega Red is supposed to be in the errata somewhere, so I don't know if he's just getting more health.
Man, but like, here's a question. Would you add more health or change movement?
Yeah. I mean, if he were a medium move, I would just put him into this list. Like, if he were in the Fast Boy camp, then he would fit the bill for this a lot better. Now, I will say, as much as I love Omega Red as a character and I love my paint job on him, every time I've tried to play him, that boy has let me down big time.
Yes. There's one time where Omega Red like abused me and just like took care of most of my team.
Yeah.
But everything else is just sort of throw Omega Red and be like, okay. That's it.
I don't know. I might throw him in there just to like dust him off for a minute, even if he doesn't stay in the list very long, because he does fit the bill of what I'm talking about.
Oh, I remember it. It's Bill. Because Bill can't be poisoned. Bill just throws the meat in. Bill's just like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. He's got extra power. He can shock people. Bill would be a very natural fit for this. But like, I don't think I need to go to Bill right away. It can be.
We can work out to billionaire. I get it. Ooh. I mean, he's a tough boy. We can't go straight for the top of the mountain, right?
Can't really see. This guy is so dusty. He's just been sitting on a shelf. I need to clean him off. But this sculpt is so good.
It was one of the first sculpts that I saw where the model really looked like it had like volume. Like all the whips going around. You're like, oh, you would want to be around that character at all. Like, no, they would just straight up kill you.
Yeah, just looking at him makes me want
accidentally
to
kill you.
Yeah. I might have to try it just to like see, just like give it a go. I don't know.
Again, cyborg robot theme going on. Really staying on brand here.
Yeah. We'll see. Okay. Next up on the list of topics for this particular episode, you have squad goals right around the corner.
I do.
How do you go into setting your goals and like expectations for an event at this point? We're old men. We're like 70-year-old gamers now or something like that. I've lost track.
I think they call us geriatric now.
Yes, we're a geriatric podcast.
Geriatric gamers. We're GG.
GG nerds, geriatric gamers. Good game, geriatric game. One of the two.
Oh man,
we've been at this for too long.
Yeah.
We'll live that
setting
one down.
Expectations,
but obviously, like it's shifted, right? Like back when we were late 20s, early 30s, you know, it was play like 16 fucking games at a convention. You know, you're like, I want to win. I want to lose no more than 1 or 2 games. Preferably lose none, you know.
Yeah.
Lose, but, so you, but you've got this event right around the corner. You get a bunch of people to see. Like, how do you set your personal goals for this one?
This is a very interesting one because of the scenario change and being very close to the event. Generally speaking, I like the month leading up to a lot of bigger events. I tried like put a lot of reps in with my list, try to really iron. It was like when I'm trying to really figure out what last character to have, what do I really think is missing, or what's sort of like the weird edge cases in my list. But because the scenario change, there's so many permutations now that are very different than how they worked before. It's sort of hard to really like understand how this is going to play out. One of the factors, for example, is there's 10 Guardians players. It's a lot of punching. And I expect a lot of fighting scenarios. I was like, oh man, I'm sort of like threading this needle of scoring where I generally score 4 to 5 on my extracts and I score 4 to 5 on my secures, which can go a lot of ways depending on home fighting. So where I'm right now is, okay, I want to just not have a blowout is my first goal here in terms of losing all my matches. But I think what's important to me.
Okay. Pausing for a second. I don't want to lose round 1. That's like one, that's been like one of my number 1 goals for events, like for a long time. Cause my first few War Machine events, I lost round 1. Like my first Intermountain Cup, I lost round 1. My first Lock and Load, I lost round 1. And like, even though I ended up winning all of my other games at those events, it's ever since then, it's been tilting. Like, don't lose round 1. Don't lose round 1.
I think losing round 1 is probably one of the hardest rounds to lose because that's like all of the prep, the mental work you've got into. And then you get it's a very difficult matchup, get blown up. And then now what do? You're sort of discouraged, right? You face a really hard matchup. Yeah. You know, maybe you drove, maybe it's a local.
You got to rally yourself big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you start going into the doom loop, right? Of like, what's even worth this? What's even the point and everything?
The Dr. Doom loop? Dr. Doom loop?
This is where I talk about trying to play out games, especially in MCP, because dice are just so wild, right? It's really hard to know. And it's really easy to be like, oh, well, I lost this game, so I'm going to lose all my games. What's the point? It's like, well, that's not true. I most certainly see people go from losing round 1 to getting top 4, right? But absolutely, I've seen that happen. So I think especially when I was younger, my expectation was always trying to make top half. Like that was my actual goal most events was can I make top half of the event?
Top 50%. Right? Yeah.
It wasn't even like, hey, top 8 or top 5 or top 2, right? It was just like, am I in the top half of the bracket? Right? Can I at least sustain that? And then if I'm good enough to do that regularly, then there's only really one, I just need luck, right? It's to actually win more than anything. Do I need the top player to not show up one day? Sick. Makes it easy for me. But 2, usually at that point, your biggest competitors aren't the people in the bottom half of the bracket. It's just the couple other people in the same bracket as you, and you can better tune your list towards those people, especially at local events. It doesn't scale to large events, but at locals, that most certainly does scale.
Do you end up with any goals like specific to your list? Like, I end up finding that maybe it's like from the content creator perspective is that like I usually consider an event a victory if I come out of it and I think I've learned really interesting things about my list and have interesting things to say like on the show about the list where like I feel like, oh, I've like figured out why this does or does not work or like I really key change. I feel like I try to measure with some of those things where if I feel like I've definitely grown understanding wise of like what I'm playing and what I'm trying to accomplish with my list, even if I'm like wasn't in the top table, that I still like come out of it with a greater understanding. I try to use that as a goal as much as my brain will allow me to, right? Because it's like you can learn a lot, but if you lose all your games, you still feel like shit.
Okay. I do have a personal goal, which is a separate question than what you asked technically. My personal goal is one of the big things out of CarlCon and one of the big scares was like, Adam Warlock. right? And this whole Guardians list, what's going on, scenario change. My goal and what I've practiced a lot against is Guardians and trying to figure out this matchup because that is a very scary list. Adam and CGR are very scary, especially knowing they weren't getting updates or touches before the event. Like they're sort of the bar for a lot of lists. Like if you can't beat them, like you're just not going to get very far in the event. But regardless of what Bastion does or does not do, we're a little fortunate. I believe there's only 1 or 2 Sentinels player in the event, so it's unlikely I rode into Bastion. You know, I think Bastion looks very good. It's just I think the timing wise, people just didn't feel confident in it, right?
Well, and it's before the 3 threat, the Prime Sentinels come out, so.
Which is absolutely fair. I think that absolutely be rising through this summer as more comes out. People have scenarios a little better, kind of get under the belt and work out the King Scent list. So my personal goal is not losing to Guardians. I mean, I don't want to lose to Adam, but I think not losing to Guardians is a better goal to say out loud, right? Throughout the event. And where I'm going to sort of like go in, right? And see how this goes through. Because while Adam is very scary, the things that beat Adam are displacement, right? And being able to diverge this damage, right? And sort of factor this out. Like CGR's, man, it's so hard to plan around CGR, right? That hit or miss in terms of like maniac stuff. It's like, I just hope he doesn't murder the whole team.
Yeah. You're like, I just hope I have some models left. That's what I need.
It's a very interesting list to fight against. But I think ironically, it's actually a little more limited than the the OG Malekith version. Because I think OG Malekith's actually scarier offensive list because Black Bifrost is an insane card. That round 1 charge, the choosing skull, like he could just spike harder and just obliterate models. So I think he was just more oppressive. I think Adam once set up just gets the tower, turrets around. But the problem with turret characters is like the Scarlet Witch problem is like they're only scary if they get the setup.
Yeah.
Like that's really the issue. And then like, do you dedicate a gem, right, for the place? Like, what are you really doing with Adam here to make this work? And the more threat you add to Adam, the worse it is, right?
Yeah. At least now with the more terrain and stuff, it's harder for CGR to pull you in, and you're more likely to have cover.
That helps a lot, I think. And I mean, Bill's immune incinerate so helps against CGR. But having models that can operate independently, because like one of the problems when I had playing against Guardians before is that they're very good at sniping out specific characters. They have a lot of range war guns. They have a lot of ways to like reach certain characters. And so they can very quickly target key models of a list. There's like, actually, I'll just kill Luke and just get rid of him right now. Like, forget your defense. Who cares? Just kill him. And you go like, oh, I don't have Luke anymore. Like, oh, this is actually a big problem, right? So the more that you can have more independent pieces where losing a particular model won't cause the list to fall apart, the better it is for you, right? So the more dispersed you can be with the list or the tougher you can be, however you want to go about that, right? But I think they are ultimately like the king of this round of the meta, I should say.
Yeah, it definitely seems scary. I'm certainly like seeing complaints about them when I read the discords. But
it's interesting because like we all know that there's like a character update coming and a lot of changes around, and so I think there's a combination of things that'll cause this to shift soon. But I think this is still a good example of things to play against, what to expect, right? Because I don't think aggression is going to be dead as a play style. It'll probably shift a bit in how it works. But I don't think just aggression in and of itself is just out of the game.
Yeah, it's not. On that note, because we kind of talked about in the bonus episode last week where we were talking about like some intentional balance design things. And I was curious, do you feel like there's a play style outside of like displacement, scenario, score points as fast as you can, and, aggression, I want to slow down the game as much as I plan, play slow scenarios, and I'm trying to kill characters. Is there another like fundamental like play style list roadmap like outside of those two things?
I legitimately wonder if Bastion is that. Where because of like mash mold, like you're like, hey, I can play aggressively. I want to, but I don't really
brought it back to Bastion.
Right?
Check that shit out.
you have a lot of interesting plays where you can be both offensive, defensive, where you don't really care if you go the long game. So they switched modes. You're like, that's fine.
Yeah.
You can hang out and stuff. And if you're power draining, you don't care. Even if the extracts are slow, you don't actually care because you can play for time. Like, what does it matter to you?
Yeah.
So I think it forces sort of like a death clock situation, right? Where it's like the clock is kicking, either you resolve it or not.
Yeah. I mean, I will say the Defenders is a true attrition list in the sense that like it both takes hits and dishes out damage. And
Correct.
so it definitely
Marverl's very
brings like it definitely brings a true like castling attrition sort of play style, which I do think is a little bit different than what we've seen in like a very aggressive sense, right? In the past that are just like, I'm just trying to control priority and kill shit, and that's all I care about. Versus like it is different than those other two. So I give that credit, but I'm like, that hasn't existed very much in MCP, like a true attrition game plan.
It's really that whole pentagram, man. Like being able to move around the board and reposition. It's like that's one of the key issues of aggressive lists is that they can usually take care of one side of the board, but then they have to pivot at some point and they can't chase fast enough. That's what made Malekith so scary. That's what made these sort of like really, really aggressive characters. So where Namor or super scary is like a long move, big base, like, oh, you're not getting away from it. Like he will chase you down and kill you.
Okay, hot take.
Yes.
Should pentagrams go? For people who are newer to MCP, right? Pentagrams came out. People thought it was mostly trash. Then it like broke the game and they had to raise the cost of it. It was like so busted for a hot minute that they literally just changed the cost of it. And now it's back and like is kind of the backbone of this particular list build. Like, is it time to just be like, we need to stop trying to like let this card work and maybe Defenders got Mystic Ward and stuff now. Like they have good cards.
Yes. This card is
nuke it, even if it means giving them something else. Like you could give them Rainbow Bridge, right? Like you could give them like a Rainbow Bridge instead of
like the problem is the permanence of it.
Yeah.
Right. And when you have a situation like the most impressive fucking thing is like round one Strange attacks and somehow gets like a decent amount of power. And then you're just sad the rest of the game.
You're like, oh no.
He's going to pentagram top two, right? He's going to get in my face. He's going to push both of our characters and he's going to pentagram backwards, right? And I'm not going to be able to touch him. Two of my characters are now sad and I can't do anything. There's nothing I can do, right?
Yeah.
And it just feels so oppressive. I mean, like I was playing Strange. I love the movement shenanigans. I love the way it plays into the aggressive game. But the problem, again, if it was he could do it once in the game, that's fine. But with the pentagram set up, he could continue yo-yoing. And if he's positioned the pentagram correctly, then it's in a position that doesn't really benefit them or they're sort of wasting an action to get to it. So they don't get the same effect out of it that he is.
Yeah.
And then if you're attacking Strange with one attack, you're unlikely to kill him even if he's like half health. Like with the rerolls, you get defense buff, he's like, he might just live.
Yeah, there's no promise that he goes down.
I guess what I'm trying to say that the short version is, I think it is time. If it was a Rainbow Bridge or a once per, then I could see like each person pays and go through it, right? And a lot of other cards work that way. When like each team member pays and they could use the effect. When the card is played, it's the fact that you set it up and it just stays there permanently in the game, which is unlike many other things in the game. And it's just hard to work
make gymnastics easier if we just got rid of Black Bifrost and pentagrams. Our gymnastics rules would get a whole lot fucking simpler.
Yes. And it's because like movement in this game is so important and it's a way of action compression that doesn't require an action. It just spends a power. You can potentially use it in reverse. Both of them work. You get to place and choose. It's range 5, which is very long in this game. There aren't many things that are actually range 5 in this game. Right, it's like a one from you, and then it's like what is going on?
Yeah,
it's just a crazy amount of distance,
so far.
That's what makes it insane, and then the fact that it's permanent, right? And it's like, okay, come on. And I think there's multiple iterations of this card. I've just not made it work. Not that I'm not interested in the style of card working. And they've tried other teleport characters too. So it's not like they're against the idea of placements and movements as an idea.
Right. We were just talking about Giant's Blood, and then there's like mass teleportation on Nightcrawler.
Yes.
And what was Hulk's card? Gamma Launch.
Gamma Launch. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's just a lot of these characters are, hey, it's during a character's activation, they're doing something, and then you use the effects now, or you're sort of just done going forward. More instantaneous is what I should say. Which I think is easier one to handle rules wise. And there's also the question of like the token getting moved or shifted over time. Like, oh, I placed it here, so I had to have been like, I remember during a game, someone's like, oh, well, my character was at range 1 and it was range 1 of me, so it has to be here. No, it got moved. And I was like, oh, okay. That's not where it is now. And you placed yourself off at once and now you're moving it after the fact. I don't love that one, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's where like, there's a lot of things like takebacks when there's like no impact or no new knowledge, but like there's like resetting token placement, right? Because obviously we got like Adepticons and stuff that do not use marked mats, or you have tokens that are on top of buildings, and so you're trying to like double check like their exact positioning.
Or it gets thrown, right?
When to reset them and when to not reset them is a very, very fine line that can end friendships.
Yep. It can be very, so what I think is going to be very interesting is we have a new scenario with tokens that move. Like you have things that are moving around, and how that plays into this whole scenario can cause some upset feelings, right?
Yep. 100%. All right. Well, I think we're about ready to wrap up. I'm excited to paint me some Bastion. And I've somehow worked myself up to trying putting Omega Red on the table. I feel like I have to do this like once a year, and it goes poorly every time. But I want to do it. So I'm going to update my Omega Red base. Omega Red, Omega Sentinel, they got to be buddies, right? That's got to be the way that works.
I'm just saying it, robot crew. All robot crew.
Yeah. As much random mechanical tentacles, like, do I have to fit Doc Ock into this list in some way? Probably not. I literally don't see him fitting.
Well, I was thinking, we said that, I was thinking like MODOK. I was like, are there other characters you could fit in here with like range 4 guns that can make this work, that have like fun triggers?
Yeah. You did, now that you got me thinking about putting, because I was kind of discounted Iron Man maybe a little bit too quickly until you mentioned it. And I was like, man, Iron Man really does.
It's that push, man. The range 4 push is crazy.
Well, I remembered that part. The Invul part for some reason just like slipped to my brain when I was thinking, man, he really does like fit the bill of what I was going for. And he brings cool tactics cards to the list. I probably should put him in, but it's got me thinking that I should see if I have another Iron Man model laying around and paint him in Sentinel colors.
Oh, that would work. That would absolutely work.
Do him in like the purple and blue and silver. Like, I have no idea how, I'm not sure if anyone's done it. But like now I'm getting excited about it.
Would War Machine work? Like any different here? Because they still have the damage reduction. Well, no, it's like they don't want the push. It's like the push is the issue. It's like the push like that really makes it sing.
Yes. I think War Machine's on the docket for Errata, so we'll see post.
I'm very curious what I really just want, like, I honestly want all the attacks to change. I just want like a whole.
War Machine's just a boring character. Yeah. Like he is like, just such a boring dude. Like, yeah, we don't have to dig into it, but but yeah. Well, we'll see if we'll come back next episode. Will we have squad goals talk to do?
Yes. Will I defeat Guardians? Will they defeat me? Who knows? Tune in next week.
And we'll see if I have an Omega Red story for better or worse. Maybe it'll be a move. What's his thing called? Is it web snare? It's not called. It's the same as it's a ensnare. So we'll see if we have a.
Was that a web word? Move.
Yes. Move. Ensnare. Later, nerds.
What would you prefer? Yellow spandex